What actually SAP is, it's ERP just like Maximo. It is another ERP where things are being put as a bookkeeping for the plant maintenance. Actually, in the case of plant maintenance, things are like suppose you are a manufacturer of production, doing production for any kind of manufacturing. Okay. And you need to maintain books for your plant and you need to maintain all those machineries, whatever you are having. You need to maintain all those expenses, whatever you are doing over the period of time for your machinery, for your plant. So all the things, whatever are being done in the phase of maintaining your plant, kept as a record in the SAP plant maintenance. However, SAP gives you a better thing in terms of financial, in terms of economic, and in terms of production users. Like there are various processes comes into the picture, which helps you to optimize your production and ensure you that the machineries are working well. So this is the basic concept behind the plant maintenance, what we will be looking today. So apart from this, what do we call plant maintenance? A simple plant maintenance is maintaining your plant, selling out money. See, there is a basic first difference in plant maintenance is we are not earning anything. We are only shedding our money to maintain our plant. In this case, when we are talking about the plant maintenance, then we are not earning anything. We are only putting expenditures. So we will be talking about this agent view of SAP S/4HANA plant maintenance, customer services, organizational structure. So just like we discussed, I told earlier that SAP plant maintenance is giving us various opportunity at the time of business factors, economic factors, and technological factors. We can discuss in those ways. Like suppose you are working on various machineries you have evolved in your systems and you wanted to know that which of the machineries are working up to the fine, which of the machineries are about to give some errors, which of the machineries are completely broken down. So we define those things in a different manner, like various processes we use to define those things. We define our machineries, we define our amazing positions, points, data in the as a part of the master data. So why it is for HANA now? Earlier it is SAP PM. Now it is SAP S/4HANA. So what they have added in here is they have added one more layer of security layer in their database, and SAP has introduced their own database as well in the name of S/4HANA. Earlier, what SAP installers or the companies were doing is they were using the different databases, but now at the time of S/4HANA, they have to use SAP's S/4HANA database as well. So let me just give you a scenario in the case of actually is a business factor here. Suppose you have a manufacturing plant, like where you are working on an assembly line, where you are having an assembly line. That assembly line is just producing the bottles. So there are many factors, many middlemen, many things which will come in between. And to have a complete and the correct assembly line working, there must be all the parts managed efficiently. If any of the part got missed or is not working efficiently, then the assembly production will be to enhance the production. We use SAP plant maintenance. How the production can be enhanced using these that we will be reading out in the different first and different chapters as well. Just for example, if I say that if a machine has to produce 100 bottles and it is not working correctly and it is giving you 90 bottles in a day and producing a lag. So this will term as a lag. So you must be taking any corrective action on that machine so that the production not to touch zero. Hope you got this one.
Yeah.
So what actually business factors, what are related to SAP to plant maintenance? There is an increase in the cost of resulting from losses. So if we are not going to maintain our machines regularly, then what we will be facing is production loss. We will be facing the target losses, and there could be the thing that we can lose the target as well as the client as well, for where we have not delivered lead goods or complete amount of goods on. Okay, different maintenance activities have introduced inside the plant maintenance, and the bifurcation among the analysts, the bifurcation at the time of finding the final profitability and the final results is improved in SAP S/4HANA. So there are a number of more reports added in SAP systems and real-time collaboration with the customers and vendors. These are the things which can be achieved right now, nowadays. Like whenever you are processing something, you can directly notify your customer as well that this is your order number and we are working on it. Now the order step is in this position and we are still working on it. What could be the expected ETR values and expected time of arrivals and the expected time of completion. So all these things can now be added, now can be identified from SAP systems. Basically, it will give you a real feedback how you just suppose you all have some brief idea about how the manufacturing things works. Like manufacturing is not just about producing things and selling those to earn revenue. So most of the time, when we are creating our product good, maintaining our machineries in a well-mannered system, then we will be having outflow of the product. Another economic factor, which is a major factor here, is see, can we need to shell some amount of money when we are doing any kind of corrective actions instead of doing a breakdown maintenance. Suppose a machine which is currently not producing anything and is completely broke down, then the cost of repairs are going to be a bit higher than the corrective actions, and also the production loss at that time will be very big issue to the company as well. Continuous growth in the number of people employed in the maintenance sector is also increasing day by day due to the cases which are employed in the SAP plant maintenance, and maintaining the domain, maintaining the machineries, maintaining these, and all those things. What is actually a scope here? Means what could be the scope of plant maintenance? The scope of the plant maintenance will be like we have all our machineries working in a efficient manner, producing all the quality products, and there will be the minimization of the maintenance cost as well. So for the minimization of maintenance cost as well, there are many processes which are involved in these things to minimize those costs and improve the productivity and improve the connectivity with the systems and the customers as well and the vendors as well. Because in most of the times when we are maintaining our machineries, sometimes those machineries are in contract with the vendors. So you get the vendor knowledge as well. For vendors will also get the knowledge of those faults, and the person, means the manufacturer, will be informing the vendors about how the machineries are working. And it will also inform, just for example, like there are multiple manufacturers' machineries are being used in one of the plant, and at the year end or in a midway, the manufacturer or the owners can also decide that which of the machineries we are using are working efficiently and which brands of the machineries are providing so many errors. So it's like more of a knowledge of what actually is being wrong and what actually is being working at a very good pace. So it will give you a manufacturer a deciding factor as well, like the deciding key factors or KPIs, so that they can take a next decision at the time of buying next machineries. So all these things will be future, and all of these things will be the scope of the plant maintenance. In the case of plant maintenance, what actually we do things in the terms of SAP or the processes, what we can do things like we will be doing the corrective actions. Suppose there was a maintenance planner who has informed the maintenance team that this machinery is not working fine, then they need some corrective action. So this is a particular process in SAP plant maintenance which looks into the corrective actions, that what corrective actions need to be done there so that the machine will retain back to the complete and the 100% productivity. Another process is the process we will be discussing this time is the breakdown maintenance. Breakdown maintenance is, as the name suggests, that breakdown means the production has been stopped and the machinery has been completely stopped working. So this is again a part of the maintenance, and this will also be there. The major and the most important thing is the preventive maintenance. Preventive maintenance simply implies that we are servicing our machineries regularly over a period of time and in a defined manner, that we don't want any corrective actions or the breakdown actions over these equipment. So we are already spending our time, our employees and the laborers as well to take a preventive measures already on the existing machinery, so that there would be very less corrective actions, there would be very less breakdowns, and the production should never be hampered. So this is the most common feature which is being used everywhere, the preventive maintenance. And nowadays, another process has been introduced as well, which is predictive maintenance and the proactive maintenance. Maintenance is somewhere we are also doing the preventive maintenance, and in the case of predictions, like based on the data we have in our systems, we identify the identify the upcoming maintenance which are about to be done further, so that equipment or the assets which will never went to wrong state. That we will also take care as well. So the another things are repairs. Repairs are the form of the actions which we will be performing at the time of maintenance. Another thing is shutdown maintenance. Shutdown maintenance is there was a time, like we have recently had in news, that there was a power grid down for a day because they had a major shutdown. So at that time, all the machineries have been shut down. The factory has been closed for the duration, and all the machineries are being taken care for the maintenance. So that is a shutdown maintenance, and we will take that in detail if time permits. Another thing is calibration maintenance, calibration processes. Like calibration processes, like most of the times in the time of plant maintenance, what we use is couple of readings. We use couple of objects to measure some things. Like in the electronic industry, voltmeters are used widely to check if the voltages and the resistance are being coming in the correct form or not. And another thing is that there could be various checks which need confirmed or performed before a maintenance has been termed as complete at the time of the calibration maintenance. Like just for example, that your technician has completed something, your technician has completed the maintenance. Now you have some parameters before, you have set some parameters before for allowing that machinery to perform again. So all those parameters will come under the calibration process, and all the parameters will be checked one by one, that if machinery is good on this parameter, if machinery is good on the voltmeters, if machinery is good on the temperature as well. So all the parameters and whatever the parameters are defined will be checked first, then only the maintenance can be completed. So this is calibration process, and this is highly integrated with the quality maintenance as quality maintenance process. And improvement plans are also introduced here. Improvement plans are mostly termed as proactive maintenance and the predictive maintenance, that we will also reading further. So just since we have discussed so many things here, have you ever thought how the system is being designed from the start? Means you must have used Maximo, which is another ERP. But now when we are talking about the SAP systems, so there is a basically different kind of hierarchy used here. So why we use those hierarchies? So those hierarchies are a bit useful for us. Why? But why we are using those kind of hierarchies? Any idea? Hence, why we are using those hierarchies? And what is a hierarchy and why we are using those things?
There may be multiple factors. So one is like easy to locate. Okay, so if you have asset in a hierarchy or location in a hierarchy, it will be easy to locate. Second is like you can roll up cost or associated other stuff to the higher level and find it out for the reporting.
Yes.
And
Both
also,
approaches
like if there are different countries where your company is operating in, right? So all of those different countries will have different, maybe currency or different things. So all of those you can define separately in the structure. So that way it becomes easy.
Yes. So every of the given point is completely has a valid thing. So if we talk about the organization structure, just like your organization, for every organization, there is the first thing is controlling head. Who is controlling whom? Who is controlling whom? So there is a hierarchy defined, like there are multiple things. Who is controlling what person? Who is controlling what factor? Controlling factor, company factor. It is very easier for anything to design a system. It made very easier for designing. It made things very easier. Okay, we have some more points as well. Sorry. We'll come back to the organizational structure. We have some points left out for us. Let's go to organizational structure only. We'll come back to this one. So in here, in SAP systems, what we have designed here, like a controlling area, cost flow system, from where to what. So just in our organizations, like the board of directors are sitting at the top, and then we have a CEO, and then there is and like those, then we are the employees. So in that manner only, we bring things in here in such a manner that will give us a. So in this case, in SAP systems, for SAP plant maintenance specifically, what we work for any plant. Okay. So if you talk about any plant, suppose if we have any plant, then what could be the rare things? Like in any plant, there could be various things, if I say, there could be the mechanical components, there could be the mechanical branches, there could be the electrical departments, there could be some another boiler departments. So why I'm talking on these things? Let's suppose if I talk about the multi plant, so there are the things where they go for the mechanical work and a different plant. Means in a same plant, at the same plant, there could be a part one or could say hall one and hall two and hall three. Okay. So all these are a different parts of the plant and they need to be controlled by a same plant or they need to be controlled by a different plant or a different hierarchy. So to have that hierarchy maintained in our system, then we define these organizational structure. This could be something somewhere as well is like somewhere like a big plant. Some plants are there in Gujarat facility. Some plants could be there in the Tamil Nadu facility. So maintaining those things in a simpler manner, that's why we use those those organization structures. There could be number of maintenance plants. There could be number of planning plants. There could be number of company codes governed by the different controlling areas, and there will always be one kind. What is the highest in the organization? And then comes the controlling areas. Controlling areas are the different controlling areas where the data is and the cost.
Sorry, Rahul, is that, maybe I have missed it. Who would be the client?
Client is the top level of the unit. Client is the top or the highest level in the hierarchy unit. Client will always be one. Client will always be one. Once there is a one client and there could be the different controlling areas governed for client. Just like a Maruti plant. Maruti is just a client. Okay. There could be number of controlling areas for that. There could be the number of controlling areas for that client. And those clients are different covering different company codes as well. For every region or for every country codes, for every country or for any offshore region, there could be a different company code based on a different kind of currency, different taxation issues, or different tax benefits. So based on those things, the company codes and the controlling areas are designed. These are completely designed by the finance team, and we have no control over there.
So Rahul, at what level you have balance sheet and HR organization? I do not see it here.
Yes, all those things are governed in a different way. Company, client, controlling area, company code. These are the decision-making factors. And once a company code is designed, just for example, if I will be maintaining our two different plants, if we are maintaining, suppose we are maintaining a Tamil Nadu plant and then we are maintaining our Gujarat plant, then what we will be doing? We will be having two maintenance plants. We can have two plants like Gujarat plant. Suppose it is termed as 1,000 and suppose Tamil Nadu plant has been termed as 1,001. So whatever the costs have been moved over the 1,000 plants and 1,001 plant. So what could be their decision is they could go to the same company code. They could have been to the different company codes based on the company's discretion. Like they want all the costs in the same company code. Just for example, the best practice here is to use one company code for a general region. Like for India, they are going to use only one company code for a region. Okay? Based on the different company code, if suppose they go to Europe and there are multiple countries in the Europe as well, and for every country code, there are going to be the different tax benefits for the customers and different tax benefits to them for the plant organization. So they will create a different company codes and controlling it here. Company code is the smallest unit in the financial accounting with its set of accounts for external reporting. So this is something which is designed for finding out the profitability and finding out the total expenses, whatever has been incurred in the financial year. These two things are clear. Controlling area, company code. However, after this, we are not going to use these two words in any of our other training. This is just for design purpose. Okay, let me give you another example so that it will be bit more clear. So whenever you have been given a raw SAP systems, and you were asked to complete an implementation and you were asked to have a new system design, then what you will be asking to the top business client is that how many clients we have, how much control, how number of the controlling areas we are going to design our system, how many company codes. Basically, you are going to ask that number of regions you are. Yes, hello.
Yeah, I'm getting it. Yeah. So basically, 3C is actually decide even in Oracle. One is currency, another is chart of account, and another is calendar. Actually, it's not in SAP, but so the three things actually decide any one of this is different for a particular region or geography, you actually set up another controlling area or company code in your case, right?
So in SAP systems, I will show you today as well. Few things
Yeah.
like how the maintenance plants and how the company codes are putting the cost there. Okay. So these three C's are defined. First is the client. Suppose whenever we go to our SAP systems and enter to, we have client controlling area and the company code. Suppose when you get this screen as an entry screen, you feel that client is there. So this is the thing where you find out that this is the client is only one for one thing. There could be number of different clients. There could be, like I have never worked for the Maximo, but yes, I have worked for SAP systems. So what actually is the landscape design here is landscape actually designed here is the development systems, the quality systems, the production systems, and sometimes pre-production systems as well. So what is actually a difference between the difference among those systems is you have the development system. There are again two clients in those two development systems. Why only development systems has two clients? Because first client is mostly derived for having the configuration systems. First client is mostly the configuration system. You are only going to do the configuration there, SPRO settings, and all other settings. And rest we come to the next client, next development client only. It could be like 100 and 110. Then when we come to the another client at that time, those systems are mostly used for the testing systems and the sandbox testing. The configurations, whatever you have done in the golden client will move to the development client finally by a transaction, STC1, okay? And then the testing is performed. And whatever the development, like the coders development, the lab development, those developments were performed in the testing client only, the sandbox client. And then the testing has been performed there. Okay. Upon the successful testing, those things will be moved to the quality system. Again, the user acceptance testing would be done there, and the user is happy with the code changes or user is happy with the system. Then you are ready for the production movement. So another catch here is the pre-production system. Pre-production system is usually designed for the change managers and a very high level testing. So to adapt the production system, see, client quality systems has very less data. Production systems are having very large amount of data, and all the scenarios working. And pre-production system is being copied periodically to the production systems. So checking on the pre-production systems is also beneficial for the clients. So in this case, we have talked about four clients, but the original client which is working here is only the production client. Okay. And once we get into here, we are later going to talk about the multiple regions. Suppose in the Europe, we have some number of countries. There are 17 plants there. Then there could be a different company code which is governing those things. In India regions, there could be somewhere around 20 plants. There will be a different company code, and those company code are going to governing those things, and those policies are being governed by those controlling areas. So the cost for the India will covering Indian controlling area, Indian company codes, and same for the Europe and same for the Americas. The different controlling areas. It's completely a business decision and business setup how they want to design those things. And these three things are completely done by SAP. We have an SAP plant maintenance. We have zero role for doing all these three things. But yes, it is very important to know about these things because until these things are not done, you will not be able to assign or define any maintenance planning plan and maintenance plans. So three things have been completed. Now we talk about this complete structure. This complete structure consists of two types of plans. One is maintenance plant and another is planning plan. What actually you think will be the difference here in these two things? As the name suggests, that planning plant is doing the planning and the maintenance plant is the maintenance plant which is working actually. In case of planning plant, just like let me give you an example. Somewhere in India, that there is a head office for the headed in India region. Okay. So what will happen there? Like the financial decisions or the maintenance decisions or all the decisions could have been taken in the planning plan or could have been taken in the different planning plans. There could be number of planning plans and there could be one maintenance plan. Again, there is a catch here. Like there are three kinds of planning is done. There are three kinds of planning. 1 minute, let's do this. We have completely three kinds of planning. Centralized planning, partially centralized planning, and decentralized planning. Suppose we have 1,000 plans in one. Just suppose we say that, okay, what is the planning plan? Planning plan is completely that plant which is liable to take all the maintenance decisions, maintenance planning plan only. Maintenance planning plant is liable to take all the decisions for the planning plant. Okay, all the planning for any kind of maintenance is being done in the planning plant only. You get this point?
When you say planning, means drill planning or all sorts of planning?
Every
Resource
planning,
planning?
every planning, every planning,
Everything. Okay.
every kind of planning. Suppose, just giving you another example, like just for example, if I say in the terms of plant maintenance, suppose you have a machinery got breakdown. Okay, you have got a machine breakdown and it is not producing anything. So what is the first part you will be doing? Our first part, the machine owner, or machine user, the person who is using the machine or handling the machine will inform the teams that this machine is not working. So what the maintenance planner will do? The maintenance, then it is related to the maintenance planner. Then the maintenance planner will first identify what are the problem. Once the problem is identified, then he will plan things. What is the next action required for the machinery? What could be the number of resources required? What could be the material input or the products required here, and what are the another things which we will require here for the further things, for the further completion of the maintenance. So actually, he is only planning things. Okay, maintenance is being done in a different part. Maintenance would have been done in a Gujarat organization. Maintenance would have been done in the Tamil Nadu organization, Tamil Nadu part, everywhere, anywhere. It can be anywhere. Okay. So the thing is here again we talk about the control. Control is with the planning plant. Planning plant is still in the still in the higher maintenance plant. So this is a major catch here. You could have got in various interview
Yeah, so
questions.
this also you are putting it under a maintenance plan, which indicates that for each maintenance plant, I have a planning plant, right?
So there is a
Right.
there is a two-way
Okay.
arrow.
Okay.
Just
So
one query, I
oh,
think, related on that. Like as you're saying, the planning plant is a controlling plant. So controlling in terms of what, like inventory or financial cost, like controlling what?
It is not about the inventory. It is not about the resources. See, it is all about the planning. Suppose you are getting a complaint. Suppose you are getting a complaint or you got some things to complete the maintenance. Then in those cases, you will be discussing about the planning plans. Actually, planning plans I will show you. Once you can see that this is the planner group and this is the planning plan and this is our maintenance one more place where you can simply see the planning plan as per the company code. So this is the maintenance plan where we mark things as a maintenance plan and this is the planning plan. So just like things is maintenance plan is going to decide what is the location where the things are worked, and planning plan is for those things where the planning for that maintenance is performed. Suppose you have got a complaint. Suppose, just for example, you have got a complaint that these things are not working correctly. You are going to refer things to your elder organization or means the elder offices. Like in the case of Vicky, if we talk about things in this way, that problem occurred at the Gujarat office. Suppose a machinery problem has occurred at the Gujarat office. They could have discussed this with the head office that what should we do now? This could be the different thing. So it is just like giving authority. If they have been given such authority or not. Okay. So that's why there is three kinds of planning has been used. First is centralized planning. Second one is partially centralized, and third one is decentralized. As of nowadays, everywhere, mostly we find out that decentralized planning is being used. So in this case, all is like, suppose if there was a fault in the Gujarat office, machineries are not working, then for those things, Gujarat office is only responsible. They have all the rights. They have all the rights to perform the maintenance, to check the maintenance, to plan the maintenance, to allocate the resource, to allocate the task list, to allocate the inventory as well. Okay. So this is kind of one-to-one mapping, completely for the one-to-one mapping. Suppose we have a plant like our system, whatever we are going to see, we have plant. This could be our planning plant, okay, and this will be our maintenance plan. They both will always be same. This is the decentralized planning. In India, still we have some projects. In India, mostly in India, there are some projects where we still using those kind of plannings. Somewhere the parent plant is always the 1,000 plant, and there could be different plants. N number of plants can be there, which are planned in such a way. How so? Why so? Because the decision authorities are still not given or not transferred to those planning plants. They are still lying with the head offices or the planning plants. However, they both are completely interlinked.
Got it.
Planning plant assignments. I will show you how we do in the system right now. But is there anything you want to have any problem here?
I'm not following planning plant. I get that they do the planning, but why is it called a plant?
It is called the planning plant because all the planning for any kind of operation, for any activity, for any failures, all those lies with that plan. Suppose just in a very simple example, some PL has given a work to you. He has not defined any parameters. You have completed that work. That is okay. The work is submitted. Fine. But what happens if the problem arises? Suppose you have got a word, MS Word is not working. So what you will do? You will simply go to your technical team. The problem does not allow you. Problem does not give you a decision. Systems and the policies does not allow you to work or to troubleshoot that MS Office, why the MS Office is not working. You simply raise it to your higher authority that this MS Office is not working and please provide me this thing. Until then, your work will be on hold. Hope you got this point.
Sorry, between the connection and it's not a perfect connection and I'm having trouble understanding you. What's not allowing you to do the work?
Okay, this example does not seem to fair. In that case, suppose
It is called as plant. Okay, planning is, I think Tim understood.
Yeah.
It. The question is like, why you call it as a plant? Okay, planning plant. So the word plant is, I think the question is there.
Yeah, even I had a very general question about the plant maintenance itself. Plant, why is it called plant maintenance? I know it is probably suitable for a manufacturing. So there is a manufacturing plant.
I think
inside that there are
I think the SAP, evolved and, implemented.
Yeah, it was meant for that manufacturing facilities and later it has been generalized. That could be the reason.
correct.
Hey, ZaranTech now offers SAP Corporate Training. That's right. Train your workforce in SAP with our comprehensive program. We offer customized courses, certified trainers, and hands-on labs for both individuals and businesses. Our standout features? Bespoke training, fully configured servers for practice, in-house materials, and a dedicated LMS. Plus, get session recordings and 24/7 support. From functional to technical modules, we have got it all. Choose ZaranTech for SAP training and watch your team excel. Learn, upskill, succeed with ZaranTech.
Yeah, but they're still sticking with that word
Yes,
plant,
still,
which is causing all the confusion.
Yeah, because all the application is built around that, right? They don't want to change it, it seems. So the core is the same. So that's a question, Rahul. So it's the plant is confusing. Plant makes sense in a manufacturing facility, but in another service industries like utilities and things like that, right? We are not focused around a plant, right?
Okay.
So that's where the question comes around. So that's
Let
a
me give you
confusion.
what- let me give you why it is called as a plant, and why it is called a plant maintenance. Hence, I am really glad that you have asked such a question as well. We can simply call it as a planning. And but we need to know how we are going to define that thing. Who is the planning here? Just to introduce things in a hierarchical manner, and why it is called a plant. In a hierarchical manner, if we are going step by step, who is going to be termed as a planner? Means in a planning plant. Why it is termed as a plant? Because we are talking about the complete manufacturing utility or a manufacturing factory as a plant. We will terming as a one plant. That's why it is plant maintenance. Otherwise, it could have also been termed as manufacturing maintenance or factory maintenance or any another thing. So that's why it starts with the plant. As we have given a unit of manufacturing unit or any another utility unit as of one plant. One plant giving is a term. That's why it is different. It is termed as a planning and maintenance plants. Maintenance
Yeah,
plants is
I think when we say plant, right, it is been envisioned as a facility, a covered facility under which some production or something is happening, right? But it is not necessarily true for all industries, right? The maintenance could happen on any asset, even asset which is say a utility industry, right? The maintenance can happen on a port, which is on beside the road, right? So it's not happening in a plant. So that's where the question comes. So the word plant is confusing. It makes sense when we envision from a manufacturing facility because all the maintenance happening under the roof, which we called it as a plant, which could be a facility, which is a production unit or anything of that sort. But when the maintenance is happening elsewhere, right, say on customer asset, say a meter fixed on the customer premise, right, say your electric meter, there's a maintenance needs to be done, which is typically a maintenance scenario for a utilities industry, right, electric utility industry. So the maintenance is happening on a customer premise, right? So it's not a plant actually. So that's where the question arose. The plant is not a general terms, right? It is concise. It is basically reducing the scope of plant maintenance to a manufacturing facility, right? So that's where the question arises. So we understand that plant term is confusing, but you understood the context where the question comes, right?
Okay.
Right.
Yeah. I will tell you one more thing here. I was in Kochi International Airport once when I was completing the implementation. I completed their SAP systems, completely designed. There we also call Airport Terminal 1 as a different plant, Terminal 3 as a different plant, and Terminal 2 as a different. So yes, this is a plant maintenance terminology, you can say.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's a terminology. So Tim, that is what. So you got it right. It's a term SAP is using, or it could be any facility for that matter. So need not just not confuse with the plant as a manufacturing facility, but it is a general term SAP is using.
But it is a bit confusing at the time when we are using centralized planning and we are using partially centralized planning. At that time, we have read about the decentralized, where maintenance plant and the planning plant, they both are same. Okay. And in the case of partially centralized, what happens is they copy the case for both. In such a cases, like offshores are being controlled by one single plant, like some offshores are being controlled by one single plant, and the major cities like zero. And if I call a major cities like major countries, they are going to be ruled by one on one. So this is a very rare practice you will not easily find out. But yes, this practice also exists in our system. So again, what is centralized planning? Centralized planning is there is only one decision maker. There is only one decision maker for everything. That is centralized planning. You will have to reach out to the head offices or the maintenance planning plant for every decisions. That is the centralized planning. Partially centralized is the way we have the both facilities available. Only the offshores which don't have the decision powers, they reach out to these maintenance plants, and those have the powers, they reach out directly. They can maintain themselves directly. And the same goes with the decentralized. Decentralized maintenance plant is also act as a maintenance planning plant. Now the thing is plant section, planner group, and works.
I just wanted to reiterate and understand this thing. So, for example, we have an oil and gas. So we have FPSOs, right? And these FPSOs can be in various different locations extracting oils, right? And these FPOs will probably, there is like mostly the maintenance for these FPOs is planned somewhere offshore on a particular place. Like it could be anywhere, any location. For example, it's in Bangalore. So this will be the case of you're centralized, right? So there's one place in Bangalore that's planning all of your maintenance for all of the FPSOs in whatever location.
Yes, and it is not necessary that the offshores are being limited by or governed by the centralized planning. Offshores are also can be a part of the decentralized planning. Yes, I was just giving an example at that time that most of the time only offshores are, as of now, what I worked on our previous projects. Then I had found out that mostly offshores, some of the offshores which are governed by only one plant which is near to that. So just for example, like if you got
even an example. Yes, I got that point.
Again, if I give you an example, just like say that nowadays there is an advantage going on for wind turbine industries. So wind turbine industries are normally operating in the islands over the seas. So those are the areas, and there could be number of islands in that region, and they are going to be governed by one state nearest to them. That could be the planning plan for them. This is also useful at the time when we are talking about the cost making, finding out the real expenditures over the turbines or over the.
Okay.
So the transaction I've used here is SPRO. SPRO is the transaction which we use here to go for migrating as configuration in the system. So once you get the system and Once you get the system and it is configured up to the controlling area company codes, then what the plant maintenance systems will do here is define maintenance plan and maintenance planning plans. So in our use, we have already defined one maintenance plant here, plant 1710. This is the only configuration which we need to do for the plants. Rest other plants configurations are being handled by the materials team. And then we go for the assignment. See, if we have two plants, like one maintenance planning, we have one planning plan and one maintenance plan. Then we could have defined here, we have not defined only one. We could have defined two, one maintenance planning plan and one planning plan. Maintenance plan and planning plan, two things. Okay. But here we only talk about the decentralized part. And even in any case, if you want to talk about the centralized planning as well, we can easily talk there as well. Okay. Once we identify those plants, create those plants, then we will go for the assignment.
So if you go back to that screen, that maintenance plan. So all these entries all are planning plans, or from how many? 7 entries are all?
These all are the planning plans. And see, terminology here completely says that maintenance planning plan, all the plants, whatever are going to be involved in the plant maintenance, either it could be a maintenance plan, either it could be a planning plan. You must need to define that here. Okay. Currently here, all our plants and all our planning plans. When we go to the next node, now we are going to see, this is the definition part. We have started defining our things. Enterprise structure, definition, maintenance planning plan. Now we are going for the assignment part. Okay. Now what we will do, we will assign. We will define that which is the plant and which is the planning plan for that plant. Okay. Just like that, we have defined here for our plant, this plant, that this is the case of decentralized planning. Again, this is a case of decentralized planning. And just like if we talk about that, this case, what will happen in this case? This case is centralized planning. This case is simply a case of centralized planning. Like 17 is governing 1020. Okay. And if complete set is in our system, then one plant is governing themselves, and one plant is governing two plants, then it is completely partially centralized. And in case of third case, if we simply remove this, and there are completely decentralized planning, that every plant is authorized to plan their own life or plan their own maintenance and take over this process. So this is how we are going to configure these two things. These two things are assigned.
So where we define plant actually? So I think we directly jump to.
No, plant definition is being done by
other team.
Plant requests are being planned, and all the configuration for the plants are being done by the maintenance sales management team, MMT, SAP MMT, and another teams. Okay. So when this is the very first step, if you start SAP PM end-to-end implementation, then you will get the plants defined by the different teams, okay, and finance teams, currency definitions, controlling definitions, these places where all the things have been already defined. Then you will go for the plant. And here, this is complete one. Once the plant has been defined by them, then it can be termed as the further. It's termed further that if it is going to be used for maintenance or not. Okay. So if any plant you try to define a new plant which does not exist in SAP client directory, then it will simply give you error in the configuration itself. Hope you got my point. Plants are created by materials team, and at the starting when we are going for the controlling time.
Yeah, understood.
Here we have also learned about the assignment of the maintenance plant to the planning plant as well. Yes, please.
So it still makes sense if we just replace the word plant with group, right?
Replace the plants with?
If we just said planning group instead of planning plant, it all still makes sense, right?
No, it won't make sense because planning group, planner group is a completely different thing. I will come to that later.
In this context of planning plant, the plant is the thing that does all the planning. So people would be in there making the plan. So a group of people could, I'm saying in this general context, not specifically in this plan, but when we think of a planning plant, we could also think of a planning group. the group of people that make the plans. The maintenance group is the group of people that do the maintenance.
Yes, that is the planner group. That is the planner group. But see, in case of SAP systems terminology, we use planning plant as well. Planning plant does not play a very important role. Planning plant does not play a very important role when we are talking about the decentralized planning. That is simply just the terminology given by systems to be used widely. Sometimes it is being used by different clients. Then it makes a sense when we are talking about the centralized planning or partially centralized. When we are talking only about the decentralized planning, then the role of the maintenance planning plant or the planning plant device. Why so? Because maintenance plant and the planning plant, they both are always same. But it was actually important to give you a brief that there is still a technology, there is still a terminology or a technology given by SAP plant maintenance that you can perform on the centralized systems as well. Like if you want only one controller controlling a multiple plants or multiple warehouses at the same time, then that can still be done in SAP plant maintenance. But in the modern era, in the modern systems, whatever I have configured, they only solely use decentralized planning. So there will never be any kind of difference in the maintenance plant and the planning plant. But yes, this is SAP terminology calling them as a plant because they are treated as a whole and a plant. And those planning plants are governed by planner groups. Again, planner group is still a terminology. There is only one name given in the planner group. There are no number of resources assigned to that planner group as well.
So how about department? Would that be another way of thinking of it instead of plant to department?
Yes, sort of. Planner groups work as a kind of department, like mechanical department, electrical department, technical department, the wiring department, and all other departments just like those. Planner groups are configured. See, why we are looking on these things is just at the time of configuration or just at the time of any troubleshoot. Okay, things is just like the data flows from this way to this way and this way to this way. Okay, until you have created a maintenance planning plant, then only the planning plant can be assigned. Locations can be assigned. Plant section, planner group can be assigned only after the planning plant, and later on the work center is created. Work center is created, and work center is created based on all this data. So this is a kind of a building block before we move out to our processes. This will not come at the later stage, but yes, this organizational structure is important. Any other thing for this maintenance plant and planning plan?
No.
See, I know that it's like, I understand that it's completely a new terminology that you are first time SAP systems use, and sometimes it's hard to find out comparing from ongoing Maximo system, whatever you use earlier. At this time, suppose if you are going to give me some kind of knowledge about the Maximo, then at times I also kind of find it hard to digest that. Some of the information will be different today. Some of the different information is completely different here. But yes, this is a very basic terminology. And I suggest you once to take this as a homework and read out that what actually is the organization SAP plant maintenance organization structure and why it is being used for that. Okay, means give it some time as well. You might get some questions for me as well, and you will get a good insight as well for this. But believe me, this is not going to be used anywhere as a thing. Planning plant and maintenance plant are going to be same for most of the organizations.
That is what I am thinking, Rahul. So in utilities, probably it will be, same. Okay. So
my point was to introduce you to all the possible things in the system. That's all.
Yeah, and I can see like maintenance plant is associated with a location, so it's more of a physical thing, while planning plant is not associated with a location, so it's more of a logical grouping, right?
Correctly. Suppose this is a machinery. Okay, I've created this a master data. Suppose this is a kind of machinery. Okay, so what maintenance plant is going to define you. Maintenance plant is showing you that this machinery is located in this plant, and this is the location what we have read it here, what we read it here. Okay, so this is the location. There could be, why locations are defined, plant could be big enough to have number of locations. Sometimes the plants, like you have seen the large number of societies, they have block number A1, A2, A3, A4. So based on that, the locations are defined in our systems. I will show you where those locations are defined. And again, the rooms are also defined and the plant sections are also defined. This is all the physical, providing you the physical insights that where this thing is truly located. Organization data, planning plant and planner group. Planning plant simply defines who is the responsible for the planning of this machinery and planner group as well. Planner group that which are the groups or a group of the persons which are responsible for this planning. These all things are basically defined just to identify few things in the reports. These are given but not widely used, not used in every project. There are hundreds of the projects which I have seen. There is no planner group defined. These are only defined These are only defined when a business requires them. It is not mandatory to have a planner group for every asset. Okay.
So when preventive maintenance generates order for it, so it will go to this particular planner group or everyone can see it?
Suppose if I talk about the preventive maintenance will get generated and it will go to the defined and the desired planner group only, where you have defined planner group, whatever you have defined based on the work center. Either it could be based on the work center or it could be that you have given a planner group. Actually, it does not go to the planner group. Actually, it is going to go to the maintenance planner for that maintenance plan. Actually, what happens when a preventive maintenance is executed? It generates number of service orders or work orders, and maintenance planner has a task to get daily reports and identify that which maintenance is pending. And based on their inputs, the maintenance is assigned to the different technicians and the laborers and the team. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so can you click organization one more time, please? Yeah. So maintenance planner and this planner groups are two different terminology, right? Is it?
Yes.
Okay.
But everywhere you will find a planner group. Maintenance planner is a role. Maintenance planner is just a role defined for organizations. Maintenance planner is not anything which is there are some fields for the maintenance planner. But yes, maintenance planner, what I am saying here is just a terminology, just a person who is working on the ground.
Okay.
Just for example, like you have raised a complaint. When you have raised the complaint, then the complaint is first to be handled by the maintenance planner, or a technician is being assigned only by the maintenance planner. Like suppose what happens when you got a complaint, you will raise a ticket. Ticket will have been read by the teams of experts, and based on their inputs, they will assign the team ticket to either the mechanical department, there could be electrical department, there could be the another department. Based on their inputs only, they will be forwarding the request.
Yeah.
The plant sheet works. We have done things here. Now all our configurations will be working here in plant maintenance and customer services.
How you did that? Search is in instruction.
Control F. You can simply search anything. You are not really finding out the node, then you can simply search out for that field and it will provide you all the results. And it is pretty fast and it was quite very slow in earlier plant system. So in here, we are going to define our plant sections. If we have any plant sections in here, then we can simply define that. So what actually is required? We simply want a plant name and the section name.
So it is only for the reporting purpose or does it control something?
It's only for the reporting purpose. It gives you a brief idea where things are going and who is responsible. Sometimes, yes, you can contact these persons if the system is working in a very efficient manner. Things have been configured means it's completely on the business that if business want to provide details of every planner group into the systems, then yes, it could give you a completely different functionalities as well. Like planner groups, responsible persons, and those things. Plant section is the location. Location is again a different thing.
You broke up there right at the end. Did you say the section is the list of the actual people that do things?
List what people do?
That just do the work?
Yeah, that will be provided. That will also provided that what sort of work you will be doing in here. And we also provide you a configuration document. Yes, plant sections. We have defined the plant sections like defining in a more bifurcated way. Like you have talked about Gujarat plant, but that Gujarat plant is at somewhere. And in that Gujarat plant, there could be unit A1, unit A2, and unit A3. So based on that bifurcation, if we wanted those bifurcations to be given in the assets, okay, then it is being defined here. Hope you got this point. Okay, apart from this, leave this. Let's talk about any...
Sorry, I was on mute. So I didn't quite follow that. So the plant sections, it lists the people that are actually in that do the work, right?
No. No.
So
Plant section
what's
is
this list
plant
of people
section.
then?
I will tell you that. See, in here is the employee group responsible. Just like in a big societies, we have somewhere around 4 to 10 towers in our societies. So for every society, there is a tower one, if we call it tower one, tower two, and tower three. And here, the contact number which is given here is just for the for contacting the employee group or the tower one contact number, tower two contact number, and the tower three contact number. Depending on the business needs, it is not fixed. See, in SAP, most of the things are given in a different way that you can use it for various business requirements. It is not necessary that it is fixed that you will be using these employee group responsible and the phone numbers for that use only. Okay. But here it fixes that the plant section can be this plant section can be contacted by this contact number, and this is the person name or the group name which is working there. Hope this clears the issue.
So the plant section tells you what group or people or group you can contact for that. Whatever.
Plant section is only going to give you detail about the plant, a bifurcation of the plant. That plant has this number of sections. Suppose you talk about any big plant, then the plant has a mechanical section or electrical section. That in that way, plant has a very big unit. Then there could be different units like hall number 1, hall number 2, or unit number 3, or unit number 4 in a same place. So based on those things, the different bifurcation is done here.
Okay, so you started off with a list of people. Now you're talking about halls, which is a physical location.
Yeah, it is completely about the physical location.
It's a physical section. I think the employee mentioned here is just a point of contact. So it's a physical section, and who is responsible for that section? That's what that employee group responsible is given. But the plant section is a physical section.
Okay, thanks.
Is it only linked to the planning plans, or because the diagram shows that it is linked to the planning plan, right? So, like maintenance plant, we cannot define the plant sections for maintenance plant.
No, it's again two way. So it is for the maintenance plant only. It is not for the planning plant. In our case, what happens is it is for both the maintenance plant and the planning plant, because we were working in a decentralized setup.
That is fine, but my question is, if let's say that plant is not being defined as a planning plant, will it appear in the plant section, whatever application or that module?
If it is not defined in the planning plant, yes, it will appear. All the plants, whatever we define here in the enterprise structure, will appear there as well, and the system will allow you to bifurcate them with the plant section.
Yeah, so even if it's a manufacturing plant, still you can define the structure, right?
Yes, it could be a manufacturing plant, it could be any plant. I told you one example earlier. That I was working for CIL. They have defined 3 plants, 3 completely different plants, terminal 1, terminal 2, and terminal 3. Okay, and if they are not using in that manner, then what they could have defined it, they have defined it as single airport plant. Okay, and 3 different plant sections, and these plant sections will then be assigned to every asset, so to easily identify later on. Okay. Suppose in asset, what is the use of those things? The use for those things is these are defined in this plant section. So sometime later you wanted a report that I want a report of all those assets which are there in that plant and in that unit. Okay. So in that manner, you will get the simple reports. So the number of classification you will be providing here and starting in the configuration, that will give you a very efficient reports. The less number of data we will provide in our systems, classifications, that will provide you the more poor reports at the end. So suppose if I talk about a big plant like we are talking here in the decentralized setup, like this. So we have 2 plants, and in this plant we have 2 sections. Suppose we have a section A and a section B. If we are not going to define those things, then we will only get to see the report of all the assets, whatever the plant 17. Okay, and if we want a kind of report or the reportings where we want bifurcated report that how many how many assets we have in the plant section A and how many assets are in the plant section B. Then we can do that as well. Room, same case. So all these things are defined in the configuration in the same manner. Even location is also defined in the same manner. Like you can see these fields.
I was about to ask that question. This plant section and location what's the relationship?
See, all these things are provided here for a different bifurcation. The more bifurcation they have given you, so if you want to use, then you can use it. If you don't want to use those bifurcation, you can simply don't use. Okay. See, in the enterprise structure,
Let's say this, I know when we define this, it basically controls the approval workflow. So in that particular section, if there is a workflow which needs approval, it will go to that particular group of people. Okay. So such kind of control is there, then just let us know in advance. If it is just for the reporting purpose, then probably we can skip it. Or it is controlling some accounting. Okay. I don't know how your credit or debit account will appear. Okay. So like in Oracle EB suite, it will come from the, the org structure itself, inventory org. Okay. Which is, so below that, there is no control. So at what level in the structure it is controlling? If these sections, what you are defining is controlling any of these things, like workflow or maybe accounting, then just let us know. If it is just for the classification purpose, then okay. I mean, it's fine.
Okay, but believe me, this is very important in SAP terms. Why so? Because costing here and the workflows, these all are the very customized things. They hardly require any intervention. All the costs mostly can be seen in the reports very easily. But yes, if we go more onto these locations, plant sections, and another things, then we will get a broader view. Okay. Then we will get a more broader view of different cost accounting. If you are only interested in the cost for the plant, then these are very negligible things. You can simply ignore them. If you are much interested about the particular device bifurcation, and the most important use for the plant maintenance is to know about which machine is profitable to you and which machine is a liability to you. This is the major use of the plant maintenance. Then as a consultant, I would simply suggest you to provide more bifurcations to the customers. At last, it's only customers saying that if they want those things or not. But yes, see, this is the node for most of the things at the organizational structures are being configured in the enterprise structure only, like define location. And suppose I will give you this. So these locations are going to give you a complete address, set of address, and where these things are located. It will also give you the name of the person or the name, like what location. Suppose if it is in Gujarat, Ahmedabad, then at what location, further location bifurcation is there. You can do another location bifurcation with this thing.
Just a related question.
Yes.
Location here, is it like independent of the plant section or is it like in the hierarchy below the section? Plant section?
No, it is dependent of the plant. See, once we go beyond the plant, everything is dependent on the plant.
I'm saying plant section. We did one more term.
No, plant section is completely different thing. Plant section is a completely different thing. Location is completely different thing. Locations are decided on the maintenance plant, like the physical plant. All these things are the physical plant.
Location is a physical, where the actual equipment will reside.
So
That is
your
again
SY coordinate will be on
another
location,
master
not
data.
on section, right?
This is we talking about the plant. This is not actually for the asset, but yes, this will give you a brief idea that where actually the asset is. But the more brief idea will be given by another master data, functional location. That is going to define you the correct and the exact location for any asset.
So F-lock and location are different. Huh?
Which thing?
Okay. F-lock, functional location and location are
Functional
different.
location and locations are different. Okay.
Yes, they are completely different. Functional locations are something which is going to define you the complete structure where the actually asset is, and locations are just defining for the part of the plant.
But then plant section is also right. But then what is plant section? That is also part of the plant, right? Like as you said, hall 1, hall 2, hall 3.
Yes, that is also a part of the plant.
Yeah.
These all things are given in SAP systems just to identify if you have any further bifurcation. If you want to provide any further bifurcation, then you can do this. It is not mandatory.
Is it like, for example, there's a power generation, right? I mean, there's a power generation company. So it has like turbine area, boiler area, then CHP, then switchyard. So all of these are plant sections, or is it something else?
These could have been plant sections. These could have been plant sections only if they are defined in such a way.
Okay, so it depends on how we define it.
Yes, completely. It depends on
So if we like the question other way around, if we define these plant section that way, like this boiler area, compressor area, then do we need to define the locations?
Not important. It's completely up to you. See, 1 minute. I will go to work live.
Is the local drill down of a plant section?
No, that is I think independent plant. Yeah, that is what I'm trying to understand.
See, even SAP suggests this thing that even SAP suggests that this definition of a maintenance object where this object is located. Okay, so you can either give. See, this is the configuration thing. This is not going to be changed. This is not going to be added on a daily basis. This is something which is added once in a year or maximum like changed once or twice in a life duration. Okay. Again, room. This is again added once in a duration, once at the time of implementation or once at the time something. Okay. So these three fields are given in an organizational structure to identify your physical object. In what kind of plant? Suppose you have given as a plant, we have given US plant. What location could have been given? Another state from the US can be given here as a location. Okay. Plant section could have been given in which part of the plant, or it could have been also used as a person responsible for the plant, or any another way can be used it here. For this field, there could be multiple uses. It completely depends on the business process and the business use. It is not hardly defined that the room is going to be only used when the machine or the object is in somewhere a room or somewhere is in the hall. Okay. Hope you got
This
that.
plant section, the location should have some linkage to the plant section, right? Can we associate a totally unrelated plant section?
Yeah. So SAP documentation also suggests that the number which can clearly identifies a plant section. So in a very large plants, it's very hard to identify the assets at the time when the technician is moving there. Okay. So to have easy decision and the early decision, the number of details which are identified and attached in the assets will give you this much data, and this will enable you to have decision making easily and also at what plant location this object is standing. Suppose just for example, like you all work from TCS, and TCS there could be different buildings you are assigned to. If there was any maintenance thing or if your laptop is assigned at somewhere, so what could have been written? It could have been written somewhere like the plant India. Okay, it could have been written like what state it was in and what section it was in. If it was in somewhere in SGB1, SGB2, or SGB3s or something like those, at what ODC could have been. So it's a way to bifurcate your plants in a different manner. Hope you got now.
So the address below is associated with this location or with the address attribute?
Yes, that will come later because we are not talking about that address right now, please. That is completely different master data. We will talk that later.
Okay, so it is not associated with this location, right?
Yes. As of now, it is not associated with this location. Okay. So now we'll talk about the work center. Getting late. Okay, we will start work center. Our work center is going to take another 1 hour. Let's complete these things. What we have dropped in here. We have already talked about the various plant. Various maintenance activities. These will come up in a later stage. Our maintenance strategies over time. That we will discuss at the time of maintenance strategies. See, this thing is a bit important. Currently, we are talking about the plant maintenance, and there is one more thing is highly associated with plant maintenance is customer service. We are going to take only a brief idea about the customer services because our scope, customer services is very limited here. Okay. Suppose Maruti Suzuki is manufacturing and they are maintaining their own plant. They are spending number of items to repair their machineries and repair every other thing. What would be the case when Maruti Suzuki is repairing the cars which are already sold to a customer? Then at that moment, we call that as a customer services model. Things have been changed drastically from one place to another. Just take a simple example that you own a Maruti and you just visit the customer services for a repair or a yearly services. Then in that manner, Maruti Suzuki will make their ledger book as a customer services model. In that case only, there will be revenue generation. there will be services services are also provided to the customer, and there is the expenses also. But that is the thing coming along with some revenues.
So why is it drastically different?
Why it is drastically different? This is completely different. Why? Plant maintenance and customer services, they both share all the master data. They both have all the same processes. The integration made them changes different. Integration changes is when we are talking about the plant maintenance, we are working or we are maintaining only those assets which are owned by us. Maruti is maintaining only those assets for in plant maintenance which are owned by Maruti Suzuki. Okay.
Owned by who?
Owned by Maruti Suzuki.
I'm sorry, I'm not catching that.
Okay.
Owned by what?
Just say Suzuki.
It's
a Suzuki. It's a company, automobile company.
Suzuki. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so it's owned by Suzuki. Okay.
Okay. Suppose Suzuki is having a paint plant where they color the cars and parts. So what happened if there was any damage in that plant? Then Suzuki is repairing that plant, and the cost, whatever they spend in the plant, is covered in the plant maintenance cost. Okay. And suppose you own a car and you got a dent on your car and you take it to the service center. And when you get that repaired, again the Suzuki is doing the repair for that services. But Suzuki does not own that vehicle. That vehicle is completely owned by you. Suzuki is providing the services. Suzuki is giving the services. Suzuki is charging you. So for Suzuki, the working on their plant is the expense only, and working on that car, which is not owned by Suzuki right now, is revenue generation, because you pay for the services you are going to take. Either it's a free services, but yes, that is covered under contract.
So in case of utility, the meter is owned by the customer, but it is being repaired by the utility company, and customer actually paying for it, right? So that is what you're saying.
Correct. Just for a simple example, that all of you own air conditioners in your home, and whenever you call any service agent, they simply put up the company technician arrives and complete the AC services and provide you the bill, and you pay to them. So actually the services has been done by the Voltas company, and in that services they are earning something. So they are generating the revenues out of that services. So all those services are coming under the customer services module. Same transactions are being used for the plant maintenance and customer services. Okay. Same notifications, a bit difference in the order as well, because in PM systems the orders does not contain revenue. In customer services, the orders contains the revenues. Okay. When there is a customer services module, the thing is more interrelated with sales domain.
So revenue is the main difference.
Yes. If you can also call it as a hairline difference. Suppose somewhere at the time I was taking these are the very good interview questions as well, that what is the basic difference between the plant maintenance and the customer service. So there is the only hairline difference, that you are earning money when you are doing customer services, and you are only spending money when you are doing plant maintenance. Okay.
So is it a drastic difference or a small difference? What's the drastic difference?
So the drastic difference comes at the time of the processes. My mistake, I might have used the wrong word here. Processes are mostly oriented to the sales oriented processes. If we talk about some of the processes, like contractual agreements are there. Based on those contractual agreement, warranties are being checked. Based on those warranties, a repair has been done. So this is the very big change, and some of the changes, like only preventive maintenance has been done for both the cases in very simply, and the very simple difference in both the case of the preventive maintenance done for the plant maintenance and then for the customer services is the money. In plant maintenance, you are simply shelling out money to maintain your plant. And in another case, when manufacturer is doing customer services, then at that time he is generating the revenue.